This is episode 4, and I'm with Prince Gabriel. And just real quick, I just want to say, before we start, I want to say thank you for my 92 subs. I really appreciate it. And if you're not yet subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave me a like. All right, so nice to meet you, man.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, guys?
I want to talk about how I came across you. All right, so I was working out with my friend Javon at a gym called Fort Washington, one of my favorite gyms here that we have around Fresno, California. Has that old school Arnold Schwarzenegger vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just kind of getting, around that time I was kind of wanting to get into shape and kind of wanting to get into, whether it was like boxing or, I still wanted to, but
some type of sport.
Some type of competition.
Got you.
Or just be in shape. And he brought you up, and he told me that you wrestle because he knows I'm a big wrestling mark. Yep, we're going to throw around a lot of wrestling terminology right now.
I like it. All right.
All right, so man, how did you decide that you wanted to start wrestling?
Well, okay, so it's kind of a long story, kind of a short story. I always watched wrestling growing up as a kid, from probably 5 years old till now. I watch it every single day.
Religiously?
That's my church. That is my thing. So I would always go to the events. My dad would take me. We always ordered pay-per-views at my grandfather's place. Always watched them. We had the VHS tapes. My brother and me would do our moves in the backyard on each other. Many injuries, but it happens. But when I moved out here to Fresno, I was going to school, and then I started working at Fit Republic to get a job over there. And they were offering me a job because I was in the gym, probably 4 or 5 hours a day, and they were like, "Hey, you're here long enough. Do you just want a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I was supposed to have an interview with one of the personal trainers there, and he was on a lunch break. So another guy was there, and his name's Brandon Pinion. He's like the one who actually got me started.
Okay.
He was also another wrestler, so when we were doing the interview and everything like that, he was like, "What are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "I want to be a professional wrestler. I'm going to save up money, move out to LA. There's a school out there I was looking into, and I wanted to do that." And he's all like, "That's awesome, man, but why don't you train here in Fresno?" And I was like, "There's a school here in Fresno?" He's all like, "Yeah, best of the West." Showed me his little highlight film, and after that, I was done. I was in it for life.
Wow.
So, can't thank him enough, Probably a month or so after that, I signed up with him. My coach, Mike Rain, great guy. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am right now. He set me on the straight path. He told me what I needed to do and everything just like that. And like I said, without those two people in the wrestling business, there would be no Prince Gabriel.
Wow. Did anyone kind of call you crazy for wanting to do this, or was everyone kind of supportive? Because I know you go to Fresno State, and you're also in a fraternity over there too. And did any of your friends? I know maybe family might have been supportive, or maybe they doubted you a little bit too. But did anyone kind of call you crazy? Think it was weird?
Of course. I want to throw myself against the ground, get punched in the face, and stuff like that. Of course they're going to call you crazy.
Do some of that fake shit,
It's not fake, man. It's not fake. We'll get into that right now. But, I told my mom I was going to be a wrestler, and she was all like, "What? Really?" I was like, "This is what I want to do." And she's like, "All right, do it. Try it." My dad was all supportive. He was all on board. He's like, "I'll be at the shows." Like I said, all your fraternity friends were like, "How are you going to do that? Why are you going to do that?" And I was all like, "That's what I just want to do, man. I just like entertainment."
Right.
I just like the spotlight. Whenever I'm around parties or, in social situations, I like being seen. I like the tension, that energy, So yeah, you're always going to get that whenever you do something different. You're going
Right.
to get that backlash or like, oh, why are you going to do that? You know, you need to go do something real. You need to, you know, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be something where it has meaning.
Yeah.
But this has way more meaning than all of that. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was kind of always my dream too, but I got to that point in life when I was just like, do I really want to beat up my body for that? Because I'm a huge wrestling fan ever since, man, like, I don't even know what my first memory was. That's how soon that I started watching it. And I just, right now, that's why I'm doing the podcast right now, and I would like to be a commentator. I would like to do creative team.
that's hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. No, like I said, our studio offers it all. If you don't want to be a wrestler, or if you want to try to be a wrestler, we offer that. And then there's some guys that come in and they try it and they just seem like, you know, this isn't my part, but I still want to be part of this. So we have a creative team. We have producers in the back. We have tech guys like all this around. So yeah, there's always a spot for everyone in wrestling. That's why I love it, you know. Some people are wrestlers, or some people are in the back taking care of the camera work and things like that. And without them, the show doesn't go on, you know.
Right.
It's everyone's a part of the team. It's a team sport in kind of an aspect where everyone's working together, but it's also a single sport, depending if you're a singles wrestler or if you're in a tag team or something like that. But like I said, I knew right away. I was like, I don't want a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to sit in a box.
Same.
And you know, right away, even if it tears up my body. You know, I played sports all my life, and I've already had injuries before, but that's not going to stop me. You know, if I got to jump off a top rope or, you know, do a swanton bomb or something, I'm more than willing to take it. You know.
Yeah, because that was my driving force for kind of doing amateur wrestling in high school, and well, all the way from middle school all the way to high school. That's kind of like my dad always wanted me to play football, and I was just like, it's not my thing. I want to do something individual. I want to do something that a little more dangerous without the helmet and all that stuff. I'll get into my kind of diss on football a little bit later.
All right.
But yeah, that's kind of why I did it. And man, like even high school wrestling, that takes a toll on your body. That's one of the main reasons I didn't really want to be excellent at it and try to do it in college and do that kind of stuff, because man, you have to worry about your weight, you have to worry about everything, and that just wasn't something that I wanted to do. Maybe if they paid college wrestlers, which I think they freaking should, or at least let them get sponsorships, because I don't think NCAA lets them do sponsorships.
I don't think so, not yet.
So if that was on the table, maybe I would, but I'm not trying to go to college academically and do a sport as taxing as wrestling is, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, like how you're speaking of high school wrestling. Never wrestled in high school.
Really?
Never did. I played football, track. I did like outdoor basketball stuff on the weekends and things like that, but never did high school wrestling. They always tried to get me to go, and I was like, nah, this isn't something for me. You know, this isn't the oohs and ahs, the aspect. Yeah. It wasn't, you know, you were over there fighting with each other, and I was like, I have a whole bunch of respect for those guys. One of my best friends was a high school wrestler. He went all the way to the top, and I was like, he was a scary man. Long guy.
Oh, really?
He had to been 6'4", maybe 6'4", 6'5", and he was just a lengthy guy, dude. So he would take him down everywhere, and he also played football with me, so it was always hard to get away from him. But never played or never did wrestling in high school. That was just, you know, one of the things that I just thought it was different. I didn't think it was the same as professional wrestling.
Oh, it's definitely not.
Oh yeah, no. So
the falling's the same though. That's kind of why I wanted to try to do high school wrestling, because first thing they do is teach you how to fall. They don't teach you how to hurt somebody yet. Mm-hmm. They teach you how to not break your neck.
Exactly. No. Yeah.
And while we were talking about like kind of like you said, you brought up creative and I brought up creative earlier. That aspect of professional wrestling, and I just want to bring up one of my favorite, underrated in some people's eyes, But my favorite minds of professional wrestling has got to be Paul Heyman.
Oh.
From back in the original day, started ECW. I kind of always say like, man, I kind of was born in the wrong timeline, man. Because if I was mid-20s around ECW's heyday, I would have been at every show. I would have like sold all my shit and went to New York City and went to the Heimerstein Ballroom, and I would have watched that shit because that was my kind of, you know, you just seen that dude's passion. And honestly, in WWE, if you look back at the Raw versus SmackDown era days in the early 2000s, when Paul Heyman was on the creative team, SmackDown was beating Raw in the ratings.
Oh hell yeah!
And
that was the best time for SmackDown, dude.
Hell yeah, they had Eddie Guerrero. You know, shout out Urban Aztecs that I bought the shirt from. Really cool artist. And yeah, man, they had Eddie Guerrero, they had Undertaker, they had Mr. Kennedy in there, they had Batista, they had all those great people, Chris Benoit, and SmackDown had the talent, but you know, Vince, I feel like Vince kind of didn't like that, and so, or Stephanie too, that's why they kind of, Paul Heyman wasn't really liking it because it kind of took his creative mind away from it. But when he was on the head writing team over there, he was killing SmackDown. He was killing Raw in the ratings.
Mm-hmm. Paul Heyman's one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling, hands down. You know, how the way his brain works is way different than most of us think, you know. If I had the chance, you know, like I said, to go to those shows and be there when the ECW first started out, in a heartbeat, I'd be there, you know. To get to work with him would be even more amazing, you know.
Hell yeah.
Just be alongside, just to be able to pick his brain and talk to him and get like, oh, what do you think about this? Or should I change this? Or, you know, how about do I do this where it makes me look either good or bad, you know? But one of the greatest, hands down.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's just different. His mind's just different, a different way of thinking as opposed to other people. And then I want to ask you, you talked about being fake. How do you feel when people want to call it fake, man? Because to me, people like Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and Triple H, those to me are GOATs, not people like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers. Like, these people are performing 360 days out of the year. You know what I mean? Tell Tom Brady to go play. Tell Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers to go play 260 games out of the year. They can't do it.
I mean, it's a different sport.
It's different, yeah.
Whole different sport. You know, we're on the road.
It looks even better now too.
Huh?
It looks even better now.
All right, so
we're back on. What were we
finish your thought? Kind of talking about, like, you were saying that we're on the road and things like that.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it just depends. Like, you know, we're on the road probably Thursday through Sunday, just depending, like, the booking wise you take, you know. And I know my coach, he was gone, you know, Thursday through Sunday, and he would say I wrestled twice on, you know, either Saturday or Sunday, you know, and those were, you know, 15-minute matches.
Wow.
That takes a toll on your body, and you're doing that every weekend, you know, every month, you know, it's rough. They are. Your body takes a toll, man. And for the people who say it's fake, it's not, you know. I tell them, step in the ring. And whenever anyone says it's fake, you know, my friends from the fraternity house or, you know, someone walking down the road or wherever, they say, oh man, no, it's fake. It's not real, you know. You guys are, just pretending. Ooh, no, we are not. I can tell you from a match I had in Merced, California, I was wrestling Jekyll's. He's like a jester, like a demonic jester. And
that's a dope gimmick.
Oh, he's scary, dude. He's a scary man. I like every time that I've wrestled him twice, I believe, 2 or 3 times, and every time the next morning I'm sore and I'm hurting because he lays in the forearms. He tells you, man, hit me. These people want to be hit, you know. Some people want to work light, you know. Some people don't want to be touched, you know, and that's fine. But you know, some of these older guys, they want to feel the sport. You know, they want to feel the contact. You know, I played football in my life, like I told you like once before, but I miss that too. You know, I miss
Oh, yeah.
the tackling. I miss the impact. So when someone gives me, you know, a good club to the back, a good forearm to the face, you know, I feel that, and I'm like, it lights me up, it wakes me up. But like I said, it's not fake. No way, shape, or form. You know, how do you fake landing on thumbtacks?
Mhm.
How do you fake falling off a ladder? How do you fake going through a table? That's not fake, man.
Have you fell on thumbtacks before?
I haven't, but my coach has, and I've seen him, and he got up and he was walking around the back and just in his back, bleeding. And I'm just like, one day I'm going to have to do this, and I'm not ready.
Are you ready? You're ready for that?
If I have to do it, I guess. But
What's the most hardcore thing you've done?
I haven't done anything super crazy yet.
Okay.
I probably took in.
A chair shot?
I haven't taken a chair shot. I haven't done anything hardcore like that.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait. Yeah, I've taken a chair shot to the back. I was wrestling another guy from our promotion, Wise Guy. Super great.
Oh, I've seen him wrestle before.
Super great athlete. Super underrated, man. He had a tryout and they didn't make it. He didn't make it or whatnot, but he's going to get signed. No doubt about it.
Do you know for what company?
For WWE, he had a tryout.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's worked for AAA out in Mexico also.
Oh, nice.
But
Well, that's making it. AAA is...
He's absolutely phenomenal, dude. Absolutely, another great wrestling mind right there. I had one match with him, and you know that helped me out a lot. You know, helped me open my eyes even more. So, but like I said, I've taken a superplex onto my face basically. So I was off the top rope, and some guy threw me out, and I landed on my face. That didn't feel super good. I've taken a double stomp to the back. That really hurt, you know. But like I said, the pain we go through just for those 10 minutes to, you know, change someone's day, it's worth it. Every time it's worth it.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of aspect that I like about it. I mean, to me, wrestling is an art form because you're telling a story without even... I mean, think about the luchadors. Think about the masked wrestlers. They have to tell a story without facial expression.
Oh, yeah. No,
Imagine how much harder that is.
I used to wear a mask, man. You know, I understand what they go through. I have a whole newfound...
How with the luchadors, they can't really... it's hard for them to show emotion. But I want to go back to, like how do you brace... Like for when I used to wrestle in high school, like, one of my friends, Matthew Studi, would slap his thighs, slap his legs, and then slap his chest. But I took it up a notch. I would sometimes I would close fist it. Sometimes I would just open palm it. But I would slap myself if I really wanted to get psyched up for a match. I would slap my chest. Only because I seen Hulk Hogan do it before some matches. So I did so I would slap my chest, and then I would slap my face, but super hard to get me riled up. And a lot of my coaches knew that as well, that to get me mean and to get me riled up in order to face somebody and kick their ass, I would have to get myself angry in order to beat them, because I'm a super chill guy. So for me to lock into that eye of the tiger mode, I guess, you gotta, and then too, if you just fall on a mat, your body goes into shock, if you're not warmed up at all, to take those bumps, then you gotta do something to get you up. I mean, do you do anything like that?
I don't really slap myself or get myself psyched up, man. It's just, it's go time. They tell you when you're on, you walk to the gorilla, and once your music hits, that's when I know it's showtime. Once I step out that curtain, everything about the day goes out the door. If it was a horrible day, I won $1 million, whatever it be, gone. It's shut off. It's not there anymore. It's everyone around. So, and then, to probably get me psyched up is always the first hit of the match.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, whenever, I usually don't want to do the first hit, so I can just test the waters to see what I'm working with today. But, if it's a good form, all right, I know what we're getting into. Usually, like I said, you can tell a match is going to go by the lockup.
Okay.
If it's weak, it's probably going to be a long day. If it's a good one, it's going to be a great day. But like I said, don't really like to slap myself, don't really like to hype myself up, you know. I just try to clear out my mind, slow the breathing down, and then showtime.
Well, I know some wrestling terminology, and because this guy that who was like a teacher's aide or like kind of like a coach over there at Fresno High, and his wrestling name was Juan Aguapo, and his real name was John Escalon, I believe. And he said he told me back in high school that in America they lock up with the right hand first, and then if you go to like the luchador Mexico style, they lock up left. Yeah.
Yep.
So I know that.
We actually had a couple lucha guys in our training school a few months ago, or they barely left, like maybe 2 weeks ago. But they had a school in Los Baños, I think it was, but it got closed down because of the COVID situation and all that. So we let them come and train with us. So now I was going to their classes every Saturday, and now I was learning the lucha style with them. So now, yeah, everything's opposite on lucha. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty, interesting. But like you were saying before with the masks and them telling the story without the expression, it's through their movements they can tell the story,
Right.
And how they showcase, how they put the match all together, who's the heel, who's the face. When I first started, I actually wore a mask. I was a reincarnation, to say, of a character called Diablo Azteca. So he was a student at the Best of the West also, and like we were kind of the same build, kind of the same size, we had the same look. So they were like, hey, you're going to be, Diablo Azteca Dos, and we're going to make a storyline for you and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, I could start doing something. And then we went through that for a few months, and then like it faded off, and then like I said, then it was just train, and then once I finally got my debut match, Prince Gabriel was there.
So you kind of just threw that out of the way, or was there like a?
It was just a fading off.
A creative.
It was. We were supposed to do something where I think it was a mask versus mask match, or something like that, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I just fell through, and then so it just happened that we just cut the storyline, and then like I said, just went back to training. And then once it was time, they gave me a shot at a student show. We usually try to run shows twice a month, and then a student show every like 3 months, I believe it is. So we can give like the newer guys a chance to feel what the crowd's like, how to come out to an entrance and stuff like that. So they get that aspect before just throwing them to the wolves per se. So, yeah.
Was there any like wrestler that inspired you? Because one guy for me right now that kind of inspired me to pick up the camera and start vlogging or to start doing a podcast and just follow my passions basically is Sammy Guevara from AEW. And kind of before him, I would say like Shawn Michaels or if I were to be a wrestler, I don't know if you know these guys, but Shawn Michaels and Taz and Eddie Guerrero would probably be like my three people to kind of mix those kind of styles together. Because who doesn't love a fucking nice ass suplex? And Taz is the
machine.
Taz is a suplex machine, and then I would kind of steal from his gimmick, and I would call myself like the War Machine. That would be kind of like my gimmick over there, and I would come out to Kiss. I would come out to his song, or something along those lines. And I mean, like Brock Lesnar has the Suplex City shit going on right now. So I mean, everyone fucking loves that shit. So, what's kind of like your inspirations, if you have any?
Man, there's so many. You gotta go with the number one, The Undertaker, man. That was one of the first matches I saw. Just his aura, just his presence. The dead man.
Right.
He's coming. You know, he's gonna get you. It doesn't matter. You know, just once you hear the dongs and all that, you feel that through your skin. You know, from his music to the way he walks in, how he portrays himself. He's the top one, dude. Favorite wrestler of all time, Undertaker. Then you can go down the line, like I said, Shawn Michaels. If there was no Shawn Michaels, there would be no Prince Gabriel. There would be no, you know, Eddie Guerrero's. There would be no,
Right.
because he's small. Like people don't
Yeah.
realize that he's, you know, a smaller frame guy, but his athleticism put him over the top. His charisma
Yeah.
put him over the top. So that's why, you know. And now generations, Finn Balor, phenomenal wrestler, one of my favorite guys. Bray Wyatt, his creative mind is absolutely amazing. The Fiend gimmick.
All right, can I just stop you right there though? All right, so Bray Wyatt and the Undertaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that obviously there's some similarities, but do you think that can he go as far as the Undertaker can? Because I've watched the last ride, I've watched all of Undertaker's things, and dude, he was so committed to the gimmick, and I just don't think Bray Wyatt can do that nowadays, just because of social media, and the times are different. Back in the day, Undertaker wore black everywhere. He was goth, and then he went through a couple changes. Did the American Badass, did the Prince of Darkness, did like the Dead Man, everything.
But you got to realize, back in the day, there was no social media. There
Right.
was no presence. There was nothing like that. So, you know, you had to live the gimmick.
That's the
You
big
had-
caveat.
You had to, you know, if you're, you know, Samuel Ryder and you're a cowboy, you got to wear cowboy stuff all
Right.
the time. You know, outlive him, I can't say, you know, because he's just starting this. You know, it's only
Right.
been maybe a year and a half, I think, maybe 2 years of this persona going on, and you know, the Undertaker did that for decades.
Yeah.
So to compare both, you know, they're both two different people.
Yeah.
You know, you never want to be similar in this business. You never
Right.
want to be, you know, I want to be Eddie Guerrero the second.
Yeah.
No, you want to be someone completely different, someone that hasn't been seen before. Because if you're trying to mimic or copy someone's character from the big leagues, I call them, or whatever you want to say, you know, from WWE, AEW, TNA,
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, all those, you know, they're not going to notice you
Right.
because you're just trying to be a number two. Be the first person of you.
Yeah.
So that's always a big thing. People always want to, you know, using their move styles and clashing it with your own, that's perfectly fine. But trying to copycat what they're doing is like not very creative, not helping the business. It's more of a, you know, cool, you like that guy a lot. How does he influence you, and how does that play along with your character? How can you mash both of those up? That's what I say through that. So
Yeah, kind of like how I said, I mean, you got to find like two different people, and you got to be like, how can I take this from that person, this from that person, and create it to be my own? I mean, but that goes in any field. I mean, like podcasting, I mean,
oh yeah, no, like yeah, podcasting. There's
Yeah.
a million podcasts out. But what separates you from, you know, this guy over here, or
Yeah.
this girl over here? You know, it's just you're working similar fields. Like I said, everyone knows how to do a suplex.
yeah,
But how do you make it just a little different from the last guy?
yeah,
So, you know, it takes time. Everyone's not going to get it on the first try. You know, it's trial and error. You got to put in the time, put in the work, see what works, see what doesn't work, you know. Sometimes you might try something and the crowd loves it. Or if you try something and the crowd absolutely hates it, you know, you're going to throw that out the book, you know. So, trial and error, practice, practice, practice.
yeah. I mean, I brought up ECW earlier, and like how you said, I mean, the crowd's gonna let you know if you messed up. And one of my favorite crowd chants from ECW is when they go, "You fucked up, you fucked up."
Trust me, we still get
Really?
that. We still get that. Whenever you botch a move or something like that, friends will let you know, and you'll know.
That's the greatest part. I mean, Right now, because of COVID, that shit sucks because
Mm-hmm.
fans are a part of the
Oh
sport.
no, fans are part of every sport.
Yeah.
I don't care whether it be football, basketball, soccer, whatever. The fans that brings the energy.
Yeah.
And people feed off that. And you can see that from, the NBA playoffs right now. If you're watching them or not, you can tell. It's a whole different bubble. I mean, they're there on the screens and stuff like that, but you don't have their, like, yay, boo, the energy coming to you. Same thing with wrestling. We can wrestle in our, rings and film them for fans and stuff like that and put them on social media and things like that. But it's not that energy. You don't feel the build up, the drop down, the build up, the drop down, the yays, the boos,
pops.
the pops. That's what you're missing. Without the fans, there's no wrestling. They're the biggest part of it. One of the biggest parts of it. Like I said, I can remember, again in Merced when I was facing Jekylls. That's probably one of my favorite matches, hands down.
Yeah.
I'll probably keep referring to that. We were going out, and this little girl, she had to have been like 5, 6 at the oldest, and she scared him, or he scared her, and she was crying, and like I was walking around the ring, giving high fives and whatnot, and she came up, and she like, he was being mean to me, you better get him. And like I took off my crown, I gave it to her, I was like, hold this for me, I'll get him for you. Unfortunately, if you go back and watch the match, didn't win.
Wow.
So, tried my best, didn't get the win. I rolled out, and I just happened to roll out in front of her, and she came up to me, gave me a hug, and put my crown back on me, and she said, you tried your best, you were awesome, it doesn't matter, I'm still your fan. Super hard not to break, super hard not to cry. I was about to lose my shit, bro. I was like, oh, you're pulling on my heart. So I just picked her up, threw her on my shoulders, did the circle around the ring. Explosion.
Wow.
People want to be connected.
Yep.
If you can connect with the people and get over with them, that's the huge thing, man. There's a lot of wrestlers, whole bunch. But, like I said, what separates you from the next guy? That little girl right there, I connected with her, and everyone saw that. And everyone was like, he's a good guy, heartfelt, strings pulled on. They want that. And then in the bad guys, you're being rude to the fans, and they're yelling, they're screaming at you, and they want to get you. They're like in the ring, they want to fight you, man. I saw it one time, one of the fans were trying to get at the wrestler, trying to attack him.
Wow.
Like they were mad, and that's what you're trying to go for. Because you made that guy so mad that he invested into it. So, emotions. Wrestling is all emotion.
Well, yeah, I mean, back in the day, dude, the Iron Sheik used to get death threats.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of these people, they would follow him outside the rings. That's why.
Even if you look back in the older days, in like Lucha Libre, like you were saying, those people had to be escorted out because the people were trying to get them. They were trying to stab him. They were trying to shoot him. They were trying to attack him. Like, that's crazy, man. You know how wild that is? But they got over.
Yeah, that's your job.
That's your job. Your job is to be rude, a punk, shitbag.
Yeah.
And if you do that, amazing.
What do you think is the... I know everyone's kind of created differently, but there's a story that I heard of JBL went up to Vince one time, and he told him, "Hey, why are you selling T-shirts of me? I'm a heel, I'm a bad guy. Why would I like?" And he kind of hurt himself because, like, he's not selling merch, but that's the trade-off of you're going to be over because I think that's true to today. I mean, if you're obviously some people do want to buy merch from a heel, but as a heel, you shouldn't want to sell merch. You should want to be the most hated guy out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's just perspective-wise, Some people like bad guys, and some people like good guys. Even the people booing the bad guys are like, this guy's pretty good. You know, I still want a shirt from him, They might not wear it to the show, or they might not, show it or whatever, but they're going to be like, I still have a shirt from so-and-so, So, yeah, no. I know heels that sell merch and stuff like that, but it just depends on the day. One day you might be a heel, the next day you might be a face, but
What do you think is easier to play, to portray?
Heel, 100%.
Yeah?
100%. It's easy to be bad guy. Being a baby face or good guy, it's a little bit more difficult, because you got to figure out how do I portray myself or make myself look like, a hero, basically in everything. Make myself look good, And then heel's job is, make you look bad, beat you up,
Right.
disrespect the crowd, cheat to win, And like I said, Eddie Guerrero, great example.
Yeah.
Amazing heel. Everyone wanted to buy his stuff because they lie, cheat,
Yeah.
and steal. Amazing, He sold merch like out the wazoo, but
He was both.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was both. He connected with everyone. JBL had the right mindset though, because he was the bad guy. Why would you want to buy a shirt from JBL or from WWE or whatever you
Yeah.
want? When he was a bad guy, he didn't connect everyone. He was
Yeah.
just straight heel. He had the right idea, but then Vince was like, oh, people might buy his shirts.
Right.
But, you got to look at the demographic and see how does that play in. So, I think everyone should sell merch. I think,
Okay.
once you find your character, once you find your right, where you're going, sell shirt. Sell shirt,
Yeah.
Make a little extra change or whatever, but, someone might buy a shirt or someone might not buy a shirt, I have tons of shirts,
Yeah.
and I put them out on the table, and, only maybe 3 or 4 people buy them. That's fine.
Hey, that's a win right there, though.
That's exactly. I got 3 or 4 people to get a shirt, and then the next show another 3 or 4. It just slowly builds and builds and builds.
That was the interesting thing about Eddie Guerrero, man, is that he could have you crying, he could have you laughing, he could have you hating him, all in the same thing. But you gravitated to him because he was Eddie Guerrero. He had the lowriders. He had the. I mean, even when he was feuding with Rey Mysterio for the custody of Rey's son Dominic, like you still had people that were cheering for him.
Yeah, man. 'Cause
Some people he was lovable.
Emotions, man. Right back to emotions. Once you're invested in someone and they got you emotionally attached, it's super hard to break away. You have to do something drastic, He played his character. He knew who he was. That's the big thing, Like I said before, wrestlers are wrestlers,
Yep.
But if you believe in your character, if you turn it up to a 12 out of 10, you are invested in yourself. People are going to get invested in you. Play on those emotions. That's what he did. He made people, when he was a good guy, people loved him. When he was a bad guy, people hated him. But either way, you knew Eddie Guerrero was one of the greatest.
Yep.
No matter what, it's sad that he passed away so young. He had a whole bunch left to do. I think if he was still here, it'd be a whole different game.
Do you think he would still be wrestling?
Oh, hell yeah. That
He
dude
would, right?
That dude would be wrestling till the day, he died. He would have been everywhere.
Yeah, man, that'd be interesting to see him right now too, especially because Rey Mysterio's son is wrestling now too. That'd be interesting to see him. I mean, still be around to watch Rey's son start wrestling. Mentor him,
and help him out. And like I said, a lot of people, it would have changed everything.
Right.
He, like I said, he was one of the best. And have him go so young, it's it hurts. But you got to go on. Dominic will learn from Rey, and he'll still watch tapes of Eddie and learn from him as well. But it's just time, man. It's time.
So, do you know anybody like on the indies that we should be looking at right now?
Oh man, there's
From anywhere. I mean,
so many amazing talents out here, and just in California, But there's all around the world, man. We got Kenny K that wrestles for a promotion. He's the spine bender. Phenomenal athlete. You got Steven Tresario, another great athlete. Funny Bone. If you ever come to our show, he was one of our Best of the West heavyweight champions. That guy is another amazing talent. Who else is there? Super Beast. like I said, my coach Mike Rain, you know, there's Benny Wasco. There's so many new talents, so much, you know, new, fresh blood in the system.
Right.
You know, the big thing is after this like COVID pandemic and all that is to see who comes back. You know.
Okay.
So we haven't shut down our school. Like we stayed open. You know, we followed the rules and all that stuff, but we stayed open. We stayed training. You know, like I said, those Lucha guys lost their home, and they came here, and we gave them a home. So that's one great thing about like our studio, about Best of the West, is we give everyone a chance. We give you a shot. If you want to come learn, come down. Our doors are open for you. So, you know,
Best of the West it's a promotion, but it's also a school at the same time?
Yep. So it's the Best of the West is the promotion, and it's the school. So
Okay.
we'll train on Mondays and Wednesdays at like 5:30 to about 8, and then it just depends when people want extra time. You know, right now there's nothing going on. You know,
Right.
so we'll open up for extra time and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my home promotion. That's where I'll be, man. One day I'll be in the Hall of Fame there, hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the home. Mike Rain's, like I said, I'll keep saying it. Without Mike Rain, you know, I wouldn't be wrestling. He's hands down best coach I've had so far, you know, and I've learned a lot from him, and can't thank him enough.
So like we talk about indies, I mean, obviously, back when Eddie Guerrero was still around, I mean, even he was on the indies for a little bit because I don't know if anybody knows this, but WWE at the time, Eddie Guerrero was kind of going through like substance abuse issues and stuff, and they let him go, and then he went on the indies. And man, I just wish I was around back then, you know, like going in a different time zone, because there's a lot of people that stick on the indies. I mean, like Cody Rhodes starting AEW, Kurt Angle was on the indies for a while.
Everybody was on the indies. This is where you start. Like I said, that's why people need to go out to the local, like, you know, almost every town has a local wrestling thing.
Right.
And they need to go check them out, man, you know, because you don't know who the next star is. You
Yep.
don't know you're going to go to the show, and that guy might be the next one up. You never know. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, there's APW up in NorCal. There's Gold Rush. There's, what else? There's Stoner U. There's all these great federations.
Wait, where's that at? You said
Stoner U. It's a
Stoner U?
It's another school, and it's up in Oakland, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I've wrestled there before, like a student show, I guess you can say. But no, the brothers, the Cuzzies, run it up there, and they're two great, another guys who give you opportunity to learn and grow. But like I said, there's so many promotions all around that people should be going and seeing, and you know, like I said, you never know who's going to be next. So you might meet a Cody Rhodes, or you might meet an Eddie Guerrero, and be able to shake his hand and interact with him, and then one day you go and see him in the big, you know, WWE, AEW, and be like, hey, look, I have a picture. Here brings up a story. So, like I said, I used to work at Fit Republic, and I would work out there all the time. So WWE came into town, and Eric Rowan, who used to be there, and Becky Lynch came to the gym.
Oh, wow.
And no one really recognized him. And like, I was like looking, and I was like, this girl's really got orange hair. Why does she look familiar? And then he's a mountain of a man. 6'8", giant beard, can't miss.
Yeah.
I go up to him and I go, hey, are you Eric Rowan? He goes, yeah. I was like, can I take a picture? He's all like, yeah. He's all like, Becky's over there. Go bug her. And so I go over there and talk to Becky, and, you know, I got a picture with her too, and I still have it in my camera roll. And
Wait, do you remember what year this was?
oh man, this had to have been 2017 maybe.
Okay.
2017, maybe 18.
So back when she was kind of like barely making it on the main roster, right?
She was getting a big push at the time. I think
She wasn't quite the man yet.
no, this was before
Yeah.
the man. I think she maybe the month after I made her, she won the SmackDown's Women's title.
Okay.
So yeah, no, like I said, you never know who you're gonna meet. Like I
Right.
said, go meet fans. I mean, go meet wrestlers. You know, shake their hand, get an autograph, because you never know. That's the big thing.
Yeah. And I mean, the worst they can say is like, no, I don't want to take a picture right now, right?
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's like the thing with networking.
You got to respect boundaries too. Like,
right.
I know people, you know, they're famous, you know,
Yeah.
but they're just like us. They're just like you and me,
Yep.
you know. I'm trying to work out, and you want to take a picture, you know, and if I tell you, like, oh, give me like 10 minutes, let me finish with my set or whatever, okay, you know, I'll take a picture, I'll sign something. Got no problem with it. But if, you know, you're bugging them and, you know, interrupting their flow, it's not right, you know, it's rude.
Yeah.
So just be respectful.
And I mean, I kind of want to shoot right here because I don't know if you know Lucha, this indie promotion around here, Fresno, Lucha Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I've seen Wise Guy wrestle. You say that you know Wise Guy. I've seen him wrestle at over there in Lucha Extreme.
Yeah, most of the guys over there used to wrestle for Lucha Extreme.
Okay.
I've never been to Lucha Extreme.
Really?
Never saw a show. No, like I said, I'm not from Fresno, so
Okay.
like people talk about it and they like say stuff, and I'm like, okay, like I'm just here listening. So I don't have like an aspect on it, but I know of it.
Well, I met this guy named Mandy Fernandez.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I went up to him, like me and my dad were working out at the gym over there one time, and my dad was like, "Hey, just go talk to him. Like, what's the worst that could happen?" So I went up to talk to him, ask him like I didn't know who he was. I asked him a basic question. I was like, "Hey, so like, what do you kind of use as your finisher?" Like, I was a little kid. I didn't know what to ask a professional wrestler at the time, let alone a person of his caliber. Like, maybe he was mad that I didn't know who he was or something. But now I do. Now I know that I've watched some videos of him with Ricky, one of the guys from the Midnight Express, and then I've seen some videos of him with Terry Funk now. So I know who he is now, but I didn't know who he was at the time. And I asked him, he gave me some like bullshit ass answer, and where he was just like, "Yeah, I don't have no finisher," and I was just like, man, like you're capping. What professional wrestler doesn't have like a finisher? He basically told me, he was like, "Oh, a finisher's bullshit." Maybe he's just old in his wrestling career.
He's a different guy. Like,
Yeah.
There's just stories told about him and whatnot, and you know, usually, like I said.
And then this guy was just sitting down too. Like, I don't know if he was.
He's a different type of.
Have you met him or?
Yeah, I've heard stories. My coach used to work with him. Wise Guy used to work with him, and they tell stories of him, and like, yeah, it doesn't seem like he was a good guy. But
really,
I don't have any per se. I never met the guy, so I can't say anything on it.
Yeah, I don't know. And I've done some research on him, because he was in WWF back in the day, in the 90s or in the 80s or the 90s, and he was a kind of like, you know, like JBL wrestled with him, the Midnight Express wrestled with him, Terry Funk, obviously, all these great athletes and performers. But I don't know, I guess he got lost in the shadows of all these great talents. Maybe he just didn't have. Maybe Vince just didn't want to keep him around.
I mean, that's a big thing. That's like I was saying before, you have to change yourself because this business goes quick.
Right.
We're flushing people in and out all the time. So like, if you're not cutting it, you know, why are we going to push you?
Right.
You know, that's like a big thing. You know, if people get bored of you, you can't be upset. You got to evolve.
Yeah.
You know, you got to change your aspect. Look at we're going to use Bray Wyatt again as an example. You know, he was the swamp guy from Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know, he had the mystic, whatever, look. And then he disappeared. And he came back with the Fiend thing and exploded. Everyone was like, oh my God. So fresh, you know? People always want something new, always changing. So, you know, maybe he didn't have that aspect. Maybe he just, you know, like you said, got lost in the shadows.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to evolve your character and move with the times, you know.
And I mean, we'll see where the Fiend heads off. I know, like the Young Bucks and AEW. I know they try to like poke fun and they kind of rib the Fiend a little bit. But I mean, we just don't know where he's gonna go from. I mean, it's still kind of fresh, and a lot of people kind of didn't hate on it, but at WrestleMania, I kind of digged his match with John Cena. It wasn't a typical match, but it was theatrical.
it's different.
It
There
was
was
different,
there
yeah.
was no one there. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
When you're wrestling in front of 0 people, you can do these cinematic
Right.
matches. We did one of those cinematic matches from our studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we made our own, like, it was like a workout situation. I was there first. Another guy showed up. He was upset. And then we did a cinematic thing. So we did cut by cut.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, no, it's different. So
Yeah.
it catches, other people's eyes. They're like, okay, maybe it's like it's a movie.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it with like you said, the match with John Cena and The Fiend at WrestleMania, or the Boneyard match with AJ Styles.
Dude, that was excellent. I still think Undertaker should come back and do a typical match, but that's just my opinion. I mean, if he wants to go ahead and do his last ride thing, but in my opinion, I think he should do another match with AJ Styles, run it back a little bit, but that's just my opinion.
But you see how creative it was. See how
Yes,
different it
yeah.
was, and you look how you're.
Yeah, that was the Undertaker of old. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
riding on the Harley. I mean, that was just AJ Styles, the cinematic, the Druids that came out. Everything was just so unique,
Mm-hmm.
but also portrayed the Undertaker as what the Undertaker should have been, Undertaker of old. And honestly, I believe if they did an arena match, I think they would have knocked it out of the park either way.
Oh yeah, no, either way. Two
Because-
phenomenal athletes.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. They would have put on a show.
And Undertaker actually had the time to get ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you have any other thoughts about the indies? I mean, how it's going right now? Because that's kind of my main goal is right now to, once COVID blows through, to start checking out the indie scene and seeing what's out there, because I really like this new thing. I don't even watch WWE no more. I kind of just watch the highlights of it. I'm a big AEW guy. I'm a big indie guy nowadays. I'm looking for the next big star
Mm-hmm.
that's about to break out.
No, AEW's phenomenal, man. What Cody Rhodes did with the TNT Championship,
Yeah.
where he would bring out indie guys
Yeah.
and give them a platform to perform on. And if you performed well, they would sign you. That's amazing. Even with AEW Dark, they're bringing in like Will Hobbs. He's a NorCal guy.
Okay.
There's someone else. I can't remember his name, but he's also from NorCal. And he's getting a shot. And they're bringing out new talent, and they're getting prepared for that next level. So.
I feel like they're letting those guys be creative too, because
Mhm.
honestly, I feel like, and then WWE started signing guys left and right just because
Because they didn't want them
Yeah.
to go have competition, but without competition, nothing grows.
Yeah.
If you don't have competition, then you're just stagnant. You're just staying at the same place, and you're not going to go anywhere. But you want that healthy competition, so
Yeah.
it pushes people to the next limit, pushes people to the next growing stage. So WWE's one thing. It's like flavors of ice cream.
right, yeah,
Someone might like Rocky Road, or someone might like strawberry, but there's always a flavor for everyone. So that's how I look at WWE and AEW. There's different flavors for everyone.
right.
So AEW is amazing. WWE is amazing. ROH is amazing.
Yeah.
TNA is amazing. All of them have their own unique style, flavor, taste.
Dude, Japan's amazing. I
Oh
mean,
no, New Japan. Oh, love New Japan, dude.
it's
That's-
just the thing that gets me though. I like a crowd. I like a live crowd in Japan. I mean, their whole thing is
because it's
respectful.
an art.
Yeah, it's
over
an
there.
art for them. So they don't clap until the match is over. So people that go over there and wrestle, they kind of have to adjust their style a little bit, just because there's no reaction until the end.
Mhm.
But they know what they're doing. They're artists
Oh, yeah.
as well,
All this is art. All this is different. All this is, it's like painting,
Right.
You can tell someone paint a flower, and you're going to get 60 different variations of a flower.
Fuck yeah.
It's the same thing as a wrestling match. Tell someone to go wrestle a match, and they're going to create some type of thing that's, beautiful.
You mentioned hardcore wrestling earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do any Have you seen deathmatch? Because I watched a couple documentaries.
Yeah,
and
I've
stuff
seen
about
the death matches on YouTube and stuff like that. We're gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
I have utmost respect
Right.
for those guys. Those guys go through a whole different type of pain, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Different style, flavor, but I don't feel like going through light bulbs or
Yeah.
glass or anything like that. I'd rather keep my body somewhat intact. I'll take the high bumps. I'll take
Yeah.
falling off of ladders and stuff over that. That's just my opinion.
I want to show a clip of some deathmatch wrestling. Not right now, but we'll put it in the editing system.
Okay.
And I just to get the audience a feel of it. But yeah, I mean, dude, like going back to like the fake thing. You watch it. Just go on YouTube and type in Japanese death match wrestling, and
Oh, no,
there's no faking that.
There's no faking that. How do you fake bleeding?
Yeah.
You can't.
How do you fake a bed of nails, barbed wire, thumbtacks, glass, all that shit? Like, and then you have these people that guys in the wrestling business I don't really like, called Jim Cornette, because he's so fucking old school. It's sickening.
Mm-hmm.
He always shits on ECW and hardcore styles, but yeah, I mean, how can you call that shit fake, man?
It's just
That's passion.
people are gonna believe what they want. People are gonna judge however, and maybe they don't like that. Maybe we can't convert them to wrestling fans.
Right.
That's all right. But maybe your son starts watching,
Yeah.
or maybe your little girl starts watching and she becomes a fan. You're still gonna go to the show. You're
Yeah.
still gonna have to buy something.
Hey, I've bought of many a wrestling tickets, just to go tell John Cena he sucks.
Hey man, see,
'Cause it's
that's
fun.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
don't
fun.
think that
I
he
don't.
sucks.
People might not enjoy it. 100% okay, but people are still gonna go there and say, "Oh, John Cena sucks," or so and so sucks, and they're gonna still go buy a beer. They're still gonna go
Yeah.
buy a T-shirt. They're gonna still go have an enjoyable time. Like I say,
It's fun.
it's fun. That's all it is. It's an escape. I've said this like many times to people in training. If I can make the guy or girl who's had the shittiest week, absolute Monday through Saturday, shittiest day, forget the reality for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where they're just invested in the match and they're just having the time of their life, either screaming, cheering, booing me, whatever it is, just to make them escape, I did my job.
Right.
It's all about, taking care of the fans and then take care of you.
And all about having fun. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, it's all fun, man.
yeah.
All
I mean,
fun.
I got like 2 beers in me, and I'm having a good time telling people go fuck off, telling people you suck, booing them.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just fun.
Whenever I get new people to come and they're like, "Oh, you're a wrestler," I'm shocked. I'm like, "Come watch the show. Come see it." And then right after the show, they come. We have to come to the next one.
Yeah.
This was absolutely amazing. We have to come again. This is awesome. I didn't know this was here.
All right, so I think we're just about done on time right now.
All right, man.
You want to plug anything? I mean, I know you brought me this.
Oh yeah, man.
you
had
wanna
to
show
come,
these people?
had to come represent.
I appreciate this, man.
Got you a new edition Prince Gabriel Tune T-shirt. For you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
I will wear the shit out of this.
Hell
And
yeah, man. I got a couple new designs coming out. Like I said, I'm trying to get all my designs ready, so once COVID hits, or COVID ends, I'm going to be ready with the merch table. Other plugs, let me see. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's wrestling_Prince97. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's WrestlePrince97. Like I said, check out Best of the West on our YouTube channel to see my matches and other great matches from our promotion. Also, like and follow our Facebook page of Best of the West to see when our new, cinematic matches, our, highlight matches, when new events come out and stuff like that, man.
I will definitely check that out, man. I mean, I'm all about the cinematic matches nowadays.
Oh yeah, no man. Like I said, we're trying to produce a little bit more since we don't know when this is going to end, but we still want to give our fans something to enjoy.
All right, that's it for me. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was the BCE podcast number 4. Thank you guys.